let it play, boy.
What is up, my friends, and welcome back to the channel. First and foremost, we're getting better at these things. 3 weeks in a row, and even better, I'm feeling better this week. So I have a shorter, but I think cooler episode to share with you guys. We'll get right to the point. It's going to be shorter because we're staying in the living room. Because in the bedroom, if you guys keep up with the Instagram, if you don't, it's Arboreal.obscurities, but those of you who do, you will have seen that we have 2 snakes that are trying to lay this week, or right now, and that is the Boiga Cynodon female, and then the young Nigroceps female that we recently brought home. So I'm trying to not disturb anything in the room, which is where everything else is. We're in a small space right now, so everything's kind of confined, but I'm trying to limit movement in that room. Excuse me if I'm talking loud. I am also kind of doing errands, but yeah, I have kind of a cool episode for you guys. I have to clean really just 2 enclosures, but I am going to show you the Boiga that I have yet to show you. I'm going to pull out the Guanxiensis now that I've fixed that enclosure and did not feed last night. And then I have to feed or clean the larger Nigroceps pair. And then actually, I have a surprise for you guys at the end of this video that is an animal you haven't seen on this channel yet. I know for a fact you haven't, and I have to change her water dish. So there will be a surprise 13 or so foot snake at the end of this episode. So I hope you guys are excited, and I guess we'll just jump right into this. The first thing that I need to do is clean out the Nigroceps. So let me set the phone up, and while I clean them, I'll kind of take them out. I'm not going to spend time talking about these animals because you guys have seen them a few times already. I mean, shoot, tons of times if you're regular to the channel, but they like to occasionally pee in their water. For those interested in keeping Boiga, one thing I will tell you is, and this kind of goes for a lot of rear-fanged stuff, but they are messy. They poop often, they pee often, and they're not necessarily clean about it. So that is one thing worth noting. And with that being said, I'm for sure gonna have to clean this enclosure too. So, be right back. I'll probably do a full video about this at some point because I don't know if we've really discussed it, and I guess it can kind of be controversial, but paper towel. I use paper towel for substrate. At least right now, I do like the whole natural look, and I like bioactive enclosures, and I've had a lot of my animals on substrate many of times, but paper towel is easy to clean for me right now. They don't seem to mind. They get sprayed down still. They have large water dishes and everything else packed into here. Anyways, that's a topic for another video. And let me change this water and I'll be right back, then I'll take the snakes out. While that fills up, I'm just gonna grab the pair. And change these paper towels. What's up, big guy? As you guys can kind of see with doing this too, they're really calm, collected, good snakes. This is Grim, the male, for those of you who have not seen on this channel. And then this is Grail, the female. Let me throw this out. Got their water. Now, so one thing we can talk about while we're doing this is what the next episode next week will be, and a few other things that are coming up that I haven't really disclosed with you guys yet that I think are kind of exciting. The first one is going to be a complete care guide that I'm going to be putting out that I've been working on. I don't script a lot of these videos, but this is going to be one that will be scripted. I have a structure to it. I have a lot of information that I want to include for you guys, and it's going to be a complete care guide for both beginners and advanced keepers on keeping Boiga. So something that I know is not out there. I know a lot of you guys want more information on these animals, and I know that that would probably be a very helpful video. So that is something that we're working on. That'll hopefully, I want to be done with it and be able to piece something together for you guys in the next week or two, and that would be really cool. And then potentially working on a website for some of that stuff. And the other thing is, we have eggs from these two right here, specifically this girl, that are, so Nigerceps eggs, for those of you who, most of you probably don't know this, but Nigerceps eggs hatch around 110 days. So most Boiga are anywhere between like 90 days and 120 days as far as incubation time goes. And Nigerceps, typically 110, 115 was our experience with the last clutch. This clutch is on about day 110, and I do like to at least just kind of pip the eggs. I don't full on cut them, but they're really tough eggs, and so sometimes it's nice to get a little start on them. So we're probably going to do that tonight, and hopefully we'll have a clutch of Cynodon eggs and another clutch of Nigerceps eggs to show you guys next week, and some newborn babies hopefully as well. So that should all be exciting. And then I just gutted out an old wine cooler and revamped it or reconstructed it into an incubator, so I will show you guys that and go over how we did that as well. But yeah, anyway, so these guys are all cleaned up. Let me put the water back in. We have really cool videos on the way, so I just wanted to kind of give you guys something as far as letting you know what those were going to be. Sorry, I'm trying to get my mail to move out of the way so I can put this water dish in here. There we go. Okay. So, staying on the Boiga topic, that's the next animal we're going to look at. It's really nice to be feeling better. This whole week I felt like crap. Alright, let's see. Put that there while I get this thing out. That is, as always, if I'm able to find it, success. Okay. Go somewhere where it's not super loud. we can talk about this. Okay, so this little snake is actually really interesting. So there's a lot of Boiga out there, and a lot that are starting to become more popular or more commonly known. Things like your Cyanea or your Cynodon. And this little snake right here, we've talked about this in the past. Most of your Boiga come from Southeast Asia. I mean, they'll range anywhere from Australia through Indonesia, through the Philippines, through most of just Southeast Asia, Thailand, Malaysia. This little guy right here is a little more special than that, because this is a newly discovered species of Boiga. Kind of a part of why I wanted to do this care guide. This is Boiga guanxiensis, otherwise known as the Guanxi cat snake. Doesn't really have much of a more common name than that right now. And this snake ranges from China into parts of Vietnam. Now, rarely are they seen in the Vietnam range, but they are relatively common in China. And the thing that's really cool about these, other than the fact that they really haven't been for sale or been seen for some time, is the fact that they're so similar to Cynodon. And I know a lot of you guys out there are big fans of the Cynodon because they get nice and big. They look really cool. So these guys are going to get large as well. Sorry, I can't get that to focus better. Try and turn the light on. These guys are going to get large as well. Only what's cool about this species is they're going to get darker in color than the Cynodon do. I mean, they have a range of colors, but for the most part they're almost a dark olivey kind of color. Their eyes turn really dark. Got a lot of yellows on them, some green kind of color to them, some orange to them, and as babies they look absolutely wicked. They've got fire reds, bright red belly, crazy orange, and almost like purple banding on them. Really cool snakes. So I said that these get larger like a Cynodon. When I say that, what I mean is they're gonna get like 7 feet, which is actually pretty long. The Cynodon get 10 feet, but 7 feet's a pretty big snake. So this is really exciting for us. We just have the one. I'm trying to get more, but coming across one is kind of difficult enough, so still kind of working on that. But Boiga guanxiensis, or the Guanxi cat snake, a Chinese Boiga, really interesting. Some stuff that we'll cover in the Boiga guide and stuff is they do have a lot of differences from the rest of the Boiga genus that is kept so far. Differences like they typically tend to breed once or twice a year, whereas a lot of the other species breed 3-4 times a year. They tend to breed a lot faster than a lot of other Boiga, whereas it can take 2.5 to 5 hours for a lot of species like your Cyanea, Cynodon, Dendrophylla, all that stuff, Nigroceps. These guys are documented to breed within 30 minutes or so, 15 to 30 minutes, which is crazy. They have larger eggs that are grooved, just like the Cynodons, which is another thing we'll go over in that cool care guide that I have for you guys. The Cynodon have little like rippled, almost like ridges down the sides, which I'll show you guys next week on the eggs that we get from this Cynodon, assuming that they are all good. And we're gonna move on into the last portion of this video, because this is a large water dish, And I'm excited to show you guys this animal. I know Allie will be more excited to see that I showed you guys this animal because I don't know, I've wanted her to be home to take this one out and show you guys because it's kind of her baby. But I'm gonna show you anyways because I know this water needs to be changed. So hopefully she's excited that she came out. But I am going to introduce you guys to Logger. And I will explain what Logger is for those of you who don't know in just a moment. But like I said, she is a very large snake. She's been in Allie's life longer than I have, and I know this snake fairly well, but I also know that it's not my animal per se. She raised this thing since it was teeny tiny, so I am going to grab the hook, kind of wake her up, make sure that she's not going to come flying out. I'd recommend for a lot of people to keep scrubs or carpets or any Morelia or pythons in general. Really, they have pretty strong food responses, so it's usually a good idea to wake them up. But give me 1 second. Because I'm going to end up, while I change the water, I'll try to let her hang out on the floor, and that way you can look at her while I go do that, and then we'll talk about her a little bit. But like I said, I do have to wake her up first. Okay, so once that food response is off, she's actually a really, really sweet girl. She's heavy. She's a really good animal. She's also very, very strong. So let me fix some lighting. It's a lot of snake for one hand. Alright, that way I can kind of show you guys more of the size on her. So, for those of you who don't know, this is Simalia amethystina, otherwise known as the amethystine python or the scrub python. So the scrub python comes from Indonesia and Australia. And there are different localities. For example, this is going to be a Merauke scrub python. And Merauke is off the coast of Indonesia. You also have your sarong barnecks, you also have waminas, you have an assortment of different locality of scrub pythons. The largest of all of them being the kinghorni. They are a Northern Australian variety, and they are absolute monsters. But scrub pythons belong to the Simalia genus. They used to be recorded on the Morelia genus, which is where your carpet pythons, your chondro pythons, and a few others belong. But truthfully, in my opinion, and I think in Allie's as well, scrub pythons are actually just the ultimate Morelia. Huge, huge snakes. Kinghorni, 15 plus foot, 18 foot animals. Very, very large. These guys have huge appetites. So they've been documented in the wild eating things like crocodiles, large pigs, all kinds of crazy wallabies. Very, very large mammalian prey. They'll feed on the large flying fox fruit bats, Huge, absolutely huge snakes. Now I'm trying to not make this an educational piece on scrub pythons. I really just want you guys to be able to check her out while I do some chores. But I wanted to inform you guys a little bit, for those of you who don't know, a little bit about these snakes. So they get the name amethystine python because they have, and I won't be able to show you right now because the lighting's not good enough, but they get that name because they have a beautiful shimmering purple, amethyst purple looking kind of iridescence to them. She's making me a tree. So that's where the amethystine name comes from. Where are you going? But the scrub python name comes from them coming from the scrubs or the bush of Australia. If you can't tell. Although she's pretty much staying on my arm, she's still a heavy animal. She's actually quite a bit of work to have out when you're handling her like this. So without giving you guys too much information on her, because we will be making a video about this, let me set her down for a moment so I can change her water dish. And hopefully she'll chill out while I can give you guys like just a little B-roll of her, and then I'll be back. So like I told you guys, well, I get her off so that I can change this water. She's about 13 feet. She's a big animal. And so when you're trying to do things like this, she can be a lot of work. Now, she doesn't make the work too hard on you. She lets you uncoil her relatively easy. But I want you guys to be able to see just how big this snake is. Now, she's not a reticulated python by any means, but she is one of the, we're going to chalk it up to being the same. It's actually the king ornai that really earns the title, but scrub pythons are in the big five or big six, however you want to count them. I like to count all of pythons in there because they're a large and badass snake as well. So I do count big six, but there are people that count five. Either way, scrub pythons are a part of that list, the 5 largest snakes in the world. Really, really beautiful snakes. Anyways, let me set this up so that I guess you can just kind of look at her. And I'll be back. Ugh. You hang while I refill your water. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this week. Not super exciting right now, just getting a few things done today. But like I said, podcasts are coming. There's going to be an entire Boiga care guide. That should be super cool. And then, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. But with the, eggs, duh. So next week, egg updates, hopefully babies. Couple weeks from then, hopefully a Boiga care guide. And then within that time as well, podcasts. So good things coming. I'm glad that we've gone 3 weeks now in a row. I know that's not much, but that's a lot considering the months in between usually. And my foot's going numb. So thank you guys for tuning into another episode. Please, if you guys aren't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell, that way you know every time we upload a video. We love you, and we would not do these videos without you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed everything, and I will see you on another episode. Peace.